I have obtained new recording software, and it is time to try it out. Well, I actually already tried it out. I have all the audio for a review for the anime Babylon that was on last season, so you'll hear me give a similar spiel at the beginning of that. I want to get that up pretty soon. I just kind of lost track of time. But we are here to talk about count them, two Vanguard episodes, because I was at the Pro Play Tour Championship last weekend, so I missed last week's. But anyways, we're here to talk about two episodes, both of which seem to revolve around Shin's moving to having to be taken seriously. So last week's episode was pretty simple and straightforward. Shin went out to dinner with Eska, who Eska beat him in a fight, which is kind of a nice little thing. And it sort of was about how Eska was saying, look, man, this Myojin dude, can't be trusted. Clearly, the meteorite from last time was not a meteorite. You've got to be careful. Rive's gotten into some serious shit. And I kind of like the idea that it comes down to Shin will save his master and try to win the tournament as well. There's honestly not a lot to say. It was a lot of dragging shit out to the 25-minute mark, but it was fine. The one thing I like is I kind of like the idea that Mark was kind of worried about what could happen if this power showed up. Just that idea of what power has done in the past. I think that's a nice little bit. Mikuru and Nanami together is kind of a funny little pairing. I kind of like that. But no, it was fine. There's just not a lot to say about it. This week, however, the episode I just watched, I really quite liked. First and foremost, we have another shot of Misaki holding up a banner. That's cute. That I liked. Then Mark is just like, oh, stuff going on, mask, me, time filler. So then we move on, and then we go on to the actual episode, which is Shin going to take on Rive. And I really like this. I like this a lot. I like that idea that Shin is now enough, you're coming back with me, we're winning this tournament, I'm going to be proactive. And their fight is a lot of fun. I like that idea that there's no preamble. Rive and Shin just know each other enough to know that it's time to card fight. There is no need for a long dragged out explanation. There is no need for an overly complicated anything. It's just, we're going to fight. We're going to have a card fight, and we'll try and reach each other through that. And the card fight itself is pretty fun. Just the way that they just go full on at each other. And I really like Rive's whole explanation for why he's doing this. Because in G, it's just simply, wouldn't it be cool? And, that's fine. But, here there's a much deeper meaning to this. And I like the bit where he's just I gave up everything to be with this woman and raise a family, and then all that just got taken away from me. And I like that idea that it also ties in with Misaki, trying to appeal to Shin, she lost everything too, and just that idea that life can just be so miserable and all these bad things, and Tatsuya losing his father and all this stuff. I think it's very interesting, and it does feel very prevalent to a real world like ours, where it does sort of feel like things can get pretty bad and are. So that's pretty nice to see. And I like that idea that even when the fight is over, Shin has made his point known, but the way Rive kind of acts, there may almost just be no getting to him at that point. But no, it's a good fight, and I like the way the two characters bounce off each other and handle each other. So then you also have the B plot, which is Tatsuya using Chrono for an experiment. I like that too. I like that idea that Tatsuya maybe has this darker side to his personality. He's taken on this more serious bad thing, i.e. he's willing to use a small child for an experiment. But again, because we had everything with Rive going on, you get it. This is someone who lost a lot. And yeah, I could see how the promise of something better could push you to want to do something wrong or something you just shouldn't do. And even the way that Chrono interacting with Chronodran kind of has this creepy sci-fi feel to it. Obviously nothing bad would happen. If you've seen G, Chrono's relationship to Chronodran. But it's good, and I like it. The one thing that kind of took me out of it was Eska and her weird butler doing all this ninja spy shit. I don't know. That felt a little much to me. I like her little bit where she's being all like cutesy, like she's just trying to get her hand on the Gear Chronicle. I also like the idea that for once a card game anime acknowledges the idea of someone having cards that shouldn't practically exist is really fucking weird and stupid. Like, everyone's always like, oh my god, you have mysterious cards that don't exist. Judge! Like, that's what they should do. Why are you okay with this? But she's just like, she's talking to distributors. She's calling people who have influence, and they're just like, we don't know what's going on. And to her, that's really weird. And her bit where she's all like cute and moe, like, I just want to see the Gear Chronicle. That kind of made me laugh. I do sort of find it funny that Chrono is reaching out to Chrono Dran to bring him into the world of V-Series, but Eska cannot let Chrono Dran get that stupid only draw effect that all the starters have, so she saves Chrono Dran from mediocrity. But no, it's a good bit. It's an interesting bit. I just like how the episode keeps going back to what is the core theme of the prequel, and that is, how do we deal with grief? How do we go about trying to fix what is broken and make a life better when it hasn't gone necessarily the route you want? And you see that idea of the right way to do it, like what Shin did, where he tried to just be there and be helpful to Misaki and did the best he could, versus this sort of idea of, we're just going to kind of cause a lot of damage and potentially hurt a lot of people and do a lot of dangerous things for something we don't even know if it would work, because we don't think that simply just trying to be there for somebody is enough. And I think there's a lot of interesting themes to that, and I like that the show is holding true to that, so that is good. The one last weird thing I just thought of this is, why is Eska just easily accepting that card game nonsense came to our world and destroyed a building? Like, when she's presenting all the information to Shin, she's just like, yes, a unit from planet Cray. I have no problem believing this is a real thing. But it's whatever. So yeah, that was this week and last week in Vanguard. Very solid ideas, very well executed drama, and good acting. Everyone does a really good job in this. So yeah, that was that. And as for the Vanguard question of the week, do you think the new Uranus has the potential to help put Genesis more into the Tier 1 status? Because as it stands, a lot of people, I feel like, think of them as a gimmicky deck. Like, yeah, they have access to a lot of power, but they can't really do what I've noticed a lot of other decks can do, especially now that we're going to be in another Bermuda format. I don't know, it's just hard to figure out what really helps them, because the advantage of Force 1 is that you make all your columns big, whereas here you just make your Vanguard column big, and you're just trying to get to the one big dude, so it's easy for your opponent to figure out how to play around it. But that's just my opinion. If you think this will really help, that's good. Obviously, there will be other cards of support to help the deck as well. Tell me that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week for more weird, sciencey shit and Eska in a tight leather outfit.